Greetings and salutations to all those out there on the interwebs. I am your host, Senor Carlos Blanco El Barbero. I am the Pen and Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies, in charge of outgoing submissions. With me tonight is my lovely cohorts in heraldry. Let's start off with Ulrich.
Hello, I'm Lord Ulrich Eisenhand. I am the Cipher Pursuivant, which is internal submissions for Meridies.
Guntram.
Yeah, ich bin Baron Guntram. I'm the Lucius Herald, I'm the Herald Wrangler for the local heralds to get the reports in.
Rajman.
I'm the Honorable Lady Rosamund Playfair, Shire of Drakenmere, local herald, and Guntram's one of my bosses.
Lucian.
Lord Lucien d'Artois. I'm the Deputy Lambent Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies, in charge of external commentary, and I'm also the local herald for the Barony of South Downs.
Etienne.
Hi, I'm Etienne Seastag from Atlantia. I'm our education herald in Atlantia. I'm also the Kingdom MIS, and I'm checking everything out.
And joining us on the quiet, we have Marco and the Honorable Lord Jacques. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump right into the to our letter. It's a very lengthy letter due to Gulf Wars. This letter contains about half of what we got in from Gulf Wars. So go Meridies. We are going to start here with number one, was Andreas von Wolfberg. We have a new device. We are looking at Azure, a demi wolf, and on a base argent, a grenade proper. Commenters wondered about the term grenade proper, but according to the February 2008 cover letter, a grenade proper is proper as a sabled inflamed proper, which doesn't match this blazon. So it looking like the wording that they're using should be correct. We found a couple of close on a prelim, but pretty much everything looks like it is appeared free of conflict. I have one personal question though. Is it okay for the wolf's tail to be separated the way it is?
I think so.
Yes.
I think I've seen it on Lions in Period.
That's actually standard for a demi creature.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's cut off like halfway. So if you had the whole thing, it would be attached. But because of where the line of separation is.
Yeah, the base of the tail is below the halfway mark on the beast.
Okay.
And I think that's even on Mist Home.
All right. Does anyone else see anything that we should comment on?
It looks good to me. And we have had several people say it's clear of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, for reference, according to Mist Home, it does say the cooping is roughly festwise and frequently includes a snippet of the tail.
Okay. See, that's actually a new one for me. All right, so we'll go ahead and send this device up. We shall move on to number two, if I can get the right application to go. Celia Oladottir. We're looking at a new name and device, so let's look at the name first. We seem to have a question about the way that Celia is spelled. We had one person give something, but then the next person came back and says, well, that kind of doesn't work. And then if
Yeah, quoting a 19th century source.
right.
There are a couple of alternate spellings that match the pronunciation, but we'd have to check with the submitter to see if, those variants would be acceptable.
Yes, because we have further down. Because another problem that they were saying that we run afoul of is the fact that we're looking at a German and a Nordic or a Norse combination, which
What does the Appendix C say on that one?
but it says Sina allows one person says Sina allows German and Scandinavian names to be combined within 300 years of each other. It does not allow combination of Old Norse with early New German or early New German, High or otherwise. Of course, it is a possibility that the former senior lecturer traces names used since 1400. This is to their much earlier origins. With that. Was that being said, we had another commenter come back and gave us a Celia was an S, which would make it from the Netherlands, along with Ola's daughter. So basically, we're changing the C to an S in the first name and adding an S to the surname.
There's also Celia spelled with an I instead of an E right above Celia with an S,
yes.
Which is Prussian.
And
German.
Early gray period was 1608.
What's the year cutoff that you have for combining that last name with an Irish name?
Irish? Oh my gosh.
Does Cena allow German-Irish mix?
Not German. The Viking.
Yeah. Yeah, Vikings, definitely. That would work.
Because we have Celia in this thing. Let me get it for you. There. And it looks like you have it under 1471.
I take it there was no reference to the year or the century, because if we're moving completely away from Norse, maybe we're not if we get German or Irish, excuse me.
Yeah, for Ola daughter, she's using Old Norse name. But for the version that has the S in it, late gray period, 1646. So that's
Right.
on the very, very edge.
Okay, and I've looked it up in Appendix C, 1100 to 1600. Scandinavian can mix with Baltic, German, and Russian / East Slavic. It does mix with Gaelic, but only before 1100.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. That means this citation does not help.
It works for German if Icelandic continued to use terminology like Ola's daughter, which I believe they did. I think the Icelandic folks still do that. But I don't know if we have documentation, because post-Viking, what sources do we use? The Swedish, we have one major Swedish source, don't we? But it's online.
Hold on, let me get back. Let's see now. We have Celia spelled with an I from Prussia, and then we have Celia spelled with an S from Amsterdam, and Ola's daughter from Sweden.
Yeah, but that's on a genealogy thing for family search. So I don't see that on No, there was a record on with this. I'm saying it now. The Swedish baptisms from 1611 to 1920. This person was christened in 1646. Here, I'll show the link there. It's not standard what I would use for citing, but because
Do you see where I'm going to mispronounce her name, but Frida Wiffa's daughter? She offered the 3-family search.
Yeah, that's the ones I've been referencing.
Right, and then underneath she says, Sina Appendix A says dash daughter TTIR as a pattern and there is no further documentation for Sweden.
right, I just put the link on there.
Oh,
Yeah, we're breaking. Hello. Sound check. Okay, try again, y'all. Because we were getting some bad echoing.
Okay, try that again. Was that me?
Let's actually it started was Rosman. So what you were saying about Sina Phoenix S says daughter as a patronymic requires no further documentation for Swedish. So until we have date for Celia, there's also Celia with an I, also daughter, or Celia with an S, also daughter, as a mix of German Scandinavian options.
And according to the beginning of the entry, it says submitter desires a feminine name sound most important. So that tells me that she's willing to accept changes as long as the sound is the same.
Unless
So we should probably double check with the submitter before we make.
Yeah, I will be contacting the submitter beforehand because I think giving what she's looking for with the S, Celia with the S is going to look the best.
Does she want Celia with a C?
Celia with a what?
Is Prussia considered part of Germany in 1608? Because I guess the Appendix A just doesn't mention it either way.
Yeah,
I believe it was.
They spoke German.
It's a language. If it's a language, it works, I guess.
Yeah, Prussia's a nationality, not a language.
Yeah.
We do have Celia exactly the way she wants it in Florence in 1427.
But then we can't mix Italian and Swedish, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
This doesn't list Italian for any of the decades or the.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Has someone talked to the submitter or anyone know the submitter?
It's Guntram's, I think.
No, it's not mine.
Rosman, it's one of yours from Gulf Wars Consult.
Oh, no kidding. From my camp. Dang.
At least your name's on the form.
Okay.
What's her group?
College of the Eagle.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't somebody I was camping with, but I did take everybody's phone numbers and emails, so I should be able to look at that up. I'm going to look that up now while you keep talking.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? While she goes to contact the submitter and everything, let's go ahead and move on to the device. So she's wanting quarterly Azure invert, a seahorse naiant, and on a border argent.
It's clear from that conflict.
Yeah, because there is definitely a posture change. I mean, being on your side compared to being upright, that is definitely a posture change.
Yeah, and then you get a posture for the field change or difference for the field change.
Yeah.
I still say it doesn't look like a horse.
No, it's very
Draconian.
yeah.
It looks like a dragon.
Yeah, it looks like a sea dragon.
Yeah, but maybe if the feet had been drawn more like hooves than claws, it would scream out more. It would scream out more horse than it does dragon. But as it stands, it does scream out very much dragon.
Yeah, it looks like a wyvern.
Well, they're supposed to be webbed, according to the image on Miss Holm. They're supposed to be webbed. I guess they just didn't get
The web,
and if you
either.
they don't look very webbed either. No.
I mean, if you look at the one that we thought that we were worried about conflict with, if you blow it up, that is very much webbing right there.
Well, it's the head that's throwing me off.
And the head doesn't look like a horse's head. It really, really looks like a dragon's head.
Exactly.
Wait, was that Seraphina?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, she stuck in on us.
I did. I'm a ninja.
Sneaker.
Hey, I recognize the voice.
I'm procrastinating my own decision letter.
I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the blown up version, and I don't think we could call that a seahorse.
If she wants a seahorse, I would suggest a redraw.
I would too.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And Ian, I think you're giving us feedback again.
Yeah, I've been muting when I'm not talking, and it's helping some.
Okay.
I do have the contact information for Celia Oladotter.
Mm-hmm.
The way I wrote it down, it didn't have an S, but the one you received is the official one. I can contact her, and you want to know if she's okay with a late period name that's Scandinavian.
It's going to be Scandinavian. The name that I would recommend would be Celia was an S, and also adding an S in the. Here, wait a minute.
Oh no, it is Oladotter is the way it was written.
Right.
There's no S in it. Okay. So looking at Celia from Amsterdam.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Ola's daughter with an S.
Okay.
Which I put it right there in the chat for you, Rosman.
Okay, good.
And we're probably going to ask for a redraw on her device because the creature looks more dragon than it does seahorse.
You might want to check if I was involved with her. I wasn't involved with her device. I don't think.
No, the device was my console, but it's not my artwork.
So ask about Celia.
The device itself is clear. It's just that the artwork is off.
Yeah, the artwork makes it look more wyvern than it does seahorse.
It should be a fairly easy redraw.
Yeah.
Just change the head from a dragon to a horse and add some webbing between the claws.
Just home.
Do you want me to talk to her on that too, or?
If you can, hold on. I'm looking up. I'm on Mist Home. Going to see if there's an actual. If it's going to, I wonder, is it going to be under Seahorse or is it going to be under Hippocampus?
Try Hippocampus.
Oh, no, there's Seahorse.
I figure either way it'll probably come up.
Oh, yes.
Hippocampus.
Here you ladies and gentlemen go. Here is. All we have to do is just turn that on its side.
Well, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to make the head a little bit more erect, but
Yeah, because it's not a sea dragon either, because a sea dragon has wings,
right.
and this does not have wings. So it's kind of like a cross between the two.
So how would you fix it?
I put the actual link to what Miss Tom says is a seahorse like that looks like up in the chat.
Okay.
And all we need to do is just take that, bring it over so it's naiant, which would only mean a slight shifting of the head once you lay it down.
I found where they got the part.
Oh,
We linked it.
and Master Alexander joins us.
Hello.
Huzzah!
That's where they got the clip art.
Typo.
Yeah. So it's it was basically a poor copy over. Because that head definitely looks like a horse.
Yeah,
Let's
it
see.
does.
Okay, so you want it exactly like the period seahorse, straight up.
No, I mean doing it naiant is fine. It's
Okay.
just that the way hers was put into place. When they drawed it, they took out a lot of the horse-like features, and it makes it looks very much like a wyvern instead of a seahorse.
Or yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And it needs to remain naiant, because if it goes erect, it goes into conflict.
Yep.
Okay.
We found that almost conflict at Herald's Point at Gulf Wars. Because right now she's getting a DC for changing the field and a DC for changing the posture, and that's it.
Okay, so device.
And I might be able to depending on how late we get out of here tonight, I might be able to work up a redraw and send it to you, Rosman, quite quickly. But that depends on what time we get out of here tonight.
Well, we'll rush. We'll rush. Redraw with a naiant position, but more clearly a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
So for right now, what I'm going to do is until you talk with her and we hear back from her, I'm putting her under pinned.
Okay.
So we're going to pin this submission and go from there.
Good. That allows us to move forward. And Ola daughter becomes Ola's daughter because you have to add the S because of the genitive?
That's what I'm thinking, yes.
Okay. All right. On we go.
Yes, on we go. Item number 3, Charmaine de Shenson's. This is a resub badge. She is putting she's looking for fieldless on a baronial coronet or pearled argent, a domestic cat, dormant, guardant, sabled, mask argent.
I think the redraw did it.
Yeah, I believe the redraw did it. I remember talking with the submitting herald when right after we did the send back, because he had a redraw almost instantly, and there was something about it was on the same thing, that on the same LOI, ILOI, where they had something hanging. But I kind of seeing the cat fully on the coronet, I do kind of like that a little. I do like that a little bit better. It definitely falls within all the rules.
Make sure that you get the submitter's approval for the change.
Oh yes. So yeah, because usually what happens from right after this meeting closes and everything, I start working up on emails, writing to submitters.
Yes, I agree. Once you've put it entirely into the coronet, then it works.
We will contact the submitter on that one. Because I believe as it stands, that frees it from all conflict.
Good.
So, all right. So we will move on to number 4. Christoph de Winter. The main problem that we saw, which is since is not really that much of a problem, is that they submitted it with a capitalized D, but as our naming conventions go, the D will most likely be turned into a lowercase d.
Family Search capitalizes it.
Yes, it does.
Say that again.
Family Search does capitalize it.
It capitalizes everything.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it's like they recognize each part of a name as being its own name group, which D is technically is a proposition. And if we all know grammar rules, you don't really capitalize propositions.
Yes, and Michael Gerard, short of memory, also commented on that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you don't do it in French either, regardless of our rules.
That's true.
So we will be letting the submitter know that we will be lowercasing the D.
For Chevron throughout, why is throughout added? I'm sorry, I'm not understanding why.
Because it's all the way to the chief.
Because it touches the chief. Normally when you add a chief, the field division gets pushed down, but because this one's going all the way up to you got to make it throughout.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so yes, so yeah, we are moving on to the device. So yes.
One thing you might need to say is that C blot is in base. Because it's a divided field, it could completely be right in the center of everything.
Well, not necessarily, because it's ghouls and the background, the field is sable. If we move the C blot on, we'd have a tincture problem.
The field is sable and argent.
Well, yes, but it's not a divided field. I mean, it's not a neutrally divided field.
It should be a neutrally divided field.
No, not with that.
Yeah, because I think if you were to put it overall, you would lose the identifiability of the charge.
Yeah, because Kaylin came up asking that same, and they were Michael Girard came back and says yes, it should be in base.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, per chevron, even if it's throughout, is considered neutrally divided between a metal and a color.
Mhm.
So.
Now, if it were on a pile, you would be right.
Yeah, I believe giving it its best chance to let Laurel look at it. Adding in base is not going to hurt it all that much. And then Laurel can make a wiser decision than us. So we'll send it up. We'll send the device up saying per chevron throughout, sable and argent, in base AC black ghouls, and on a chief argent 2 mullets of 6-point ghouls. So moving on to number 5.
Got a good name.
Yeah, I didn't want that up. Okay, yes, Christian Gwynn. They're saying that. Let's see now. Yeah, last change. That there is pattern for this according to Appendix A. So there should be no problem with.
Hold on.
That's a bad link on Gwen.
I don't believe that Welsh allows for unmarked patronymics.
Okay.
Doesn't Gwen mean queen?
No, it's Quene for queen. And it's English, not Welsh.
Now it does say that the submitter would prefer Christian Gwyn. If necessary for proper name construction, submitter is willing to add a strange name that starts with an L or Virch. Say that again.
Llewellyn.
Llewellyn.
It's Llewellyn.
All right. Or Verk Llewellyn as a patronymic by name. And they did supply documentation for that.
Yeah, the Ferch or Verch means daughter of, and I thought that was what all Welsh women had to use. I hadn't noticed that Appendix A has the given plus by name pattern. But it doesn't say daughter of. It's just the fair, so that's a nickname.
Right, and also we have the problem of it does not give that pattern. We do not have that pattern of a given by name plus a patronymic. So even
given name or by name nickname in Tang's Whistel's simple guide must be referring to a man, not a woman. I guess.
What if they drop the Gwen?
Oh, I see. She wants to add Llewellyn or Verge Llewellyn. I think they have to drop the Gwyn, but I am absolutely not an expert in that. And if
Right.
late enough period, it I don't know.
Does Welsh allow for double given names?
No.
Yeah.
Or double.
Or double by names? Or
Uh,
surnames?
no.
Appendix A or
Yeah, we're looking at Appendix A.
Unfortunately, the person I know is an expert in this. I won't ask because it's Pelican, and I don't want to ask.
well, English and Welsh are considered in the same group, the modern. But I'm looking at A, so that at C, so that's no use. You need A.
Yeah, it looks like the pattern that they're giving. The only two patterns that they give for Welsh is given plus by name or given plus pat.
Yeah, and this is given plus by name plus pat.
Right, which does not work.
Yeah, I've never seen it done that way. So, so that's under English Welsh. Let me see. It does look like late period Welsh, you could use an unmarked phrase, but it would have to be a locative, which is not what she's asking for. It does say that given plus by name, but the by name for a woman in Welsh, I think, again, has to be Verch or Ferch, and which way it's spelled is dependent on which century.
Right.
Do we allow double given names?
Welsh can say given plus patronym plus patronym.
It allows double given names in Welsh in late period Welsh.
But the order is given plus patronym. So maybe nicknames not allowed, or I just have never seen it on a Welsh woman.
Looks like I may be incorrect because I'm looking at patronymics in the guide for 16th century Welsh, and it does have given name plus father's given name.
Oh, neat.
The question is Gwyn is a girl's name?
Yeah. Well,
Let's see if they have anything on the matronymics.
Well, and
I think it's. I don't think it's female. I mean, I think it's just the fair. But you're right. Late period, maybe that's different.
hold on.
Well,
I'm trying to piece together the.
I'm looking at the correct link for the last two entries, and it's spelled differently in the documentation. It's spelled GWYN. There's variants for WIN, GWIN, WYN, and WEN, but there's no GWEN.
That makes sense. They used a lot of Y's.
I don't know why.
Okay, I'll let you pass.
So where did they get? Oh, okay.
I'll paste the correct link in the chat.
Gwyn is found in women's name in the first half of the 16th century Wales. So it is a woman's name. So I don't know if that works for if they had matronymics.
No, I don't.
Check this out.
Hmm.
1350 to 1450 Wales. Given, Verch. Name.
They have some Gwen-Ilian women's names, but that's not what she wanted for her first name at all, or her second name. Oh, they do show Gwen, Gwen, as a woman's name. But
The Virch Llewellyn is really, really easy
yes,
because we have
but she
that
might
one.
have to be Gwen Virch Llewellyn. Does that make sense? She would lose her first name though.
The article has Gwyn, Gwyn, as a masculine given name. So if we're
Oh, yes,
using
you're right.
this as a double patronymic, then would Christian Gwyn Verk Llewellyn work?
I think you would take the Virch out, wouldn't you?
Hey, I have a better solution that might
Okay.
help us out. Is I have found Gwyn as a masculine surname in English in Family Search. And you can mix English and Welsh.
Oh, if you go to the bottom of that personal
Too much talk.
white finger is win or win masculine, but for women it's W-E-N.
We're getting feedback again.
Here's Gwen as 13th century woman's name. Right here.
All right, I want to take a second and go back to what Serafina gave. Yes, what Serafina gave us. It says use Gwen as a masculine surname from English. Welsh and English can be mixed, but does that allow us to break name pattern?
Yeah.
Well, if you're using it as a surname, then you can register what she originally wanted.
It is extremely rare, although not unheard of, for a mother's name to be used as one of the comments in the patronyms.
Okay. Yeah, I get.
16th century.
Yeah, combining what Serafina and Lucian just said. Yeah, because technically we would be using this as an English name.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have a Welsh. We would have a Welsh surname.
We'd have a Welsh given name
And an
Welsh
English.
by name.
Right. So that should fix it.
Yes.
I think any way you send it up, it's probably going to get different documentation because, well, we know people.
Yes.
And it's going to register.
So let me grab.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
I can't believe you want to make the pelicans cry. That's so cruel, Serafina.
It will make Alice Pelican cry because it's a mix that's not really all that much done, but it's legal.
It is according to the Welsh 16 article.
And I have to admit, from looks, I love the spell of Christian there.
Mm-hmm.
With the Y. That just it looks pretty. All right, so we're going to use the family search was Gwyn as a English surname, and keep Christian as a Welsh given name. So let's go ahead and move on to the device,
Okay.
which is quarterly. Prepare and sable 4 CBATs conjoined in cross points outward within a 4-lobed quadrant cornice argent.
Wow.
It's a very striking device.
It is. Michael Giard said that we don't use the anglicized plural.
Anglicized.
Yeah. So it would be C blatter with an accent over the A.
Well, it is German, yeah.
That's an umlaut. Not an accent.
Umlauts. Put umlauts on everything.
It got double periods on top. So it was pretty much, it was minimally clear from one person, but it changed the field to quarterly and added that little, it puts the C-blats within
That 4-lobed quadrant cornice argent.
yes. So that gave us two DCs there. So we shouldn't have any problem with going ahead and sending that up.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
Awesome. Sorry I'm late.
it's fine. We're only on number 6.
Actually, we're still on 5
Well,
on the device. Second half of 5.
yeah. Well, I mean, we definitely don't have. We're free of the
Yeah, that doesn't conflict with that other device.
Yeah.
And that was the closest one that I could find.
So I think we're pretty safe in assuming to go ahead and send up the device. So, all right, that wraps up 5. We'll move on to 6 now. All right, so we have Dino Win. We had some looks at one of the things that Oscar said it might conflict with, but their commenter says given Cena PN3C1 the spelling by the spelling changes of 3 letters affecting 2 syllables, we should be cleared.
And it's also clear for sound because it's win versus Ewan.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're within 50 years apart of each other. They found a 1599 for the given name, and the surname is dated to 1646. So you see a lot more gray period gray period names coming in and out when we go to Gulf Wars.
Family Search is really easy to find stuff on, and you find some really great stuff or some really cheesy stuff, but it's easy.
Yeah.
Having all those books and everything.
Okay. So was definitely wrapping up the fact that we are clear of the possible conflict with the name. Let's go ahead and move on to the device. Vert, a wreath of oak leaves, fructed argent.
I have to agree with Michael Gerard on changing that to just an oak wreath fructed.
Yes.
So you don't dislike seeming to say that?
It's such an odd way to say it. I don't understand the way this guy types. Anyways, I think there may be a conflict.
Okay.
I found someone who's got azure, a wreath of white marguerites proper. It's the way it's coded. It seems that it has an argent wreath with no other thing on the field, and then just a different color. So it's only 1 DC. But it also has flower multi-petal argent, which I don't know if that grants a DC or not.
I think that a wreath of flowers versus a wreath of leaves
Different.
is a DC. I think it's a change of type.
Okay, if that's a DC, then yeah, it's got 2, so it's never mind. It's clear.
Yeah, because could you really call a leaf a flower?
I mean, you couldn't, but I mean, there are weird technicalities all over the place. So
Yes.
but I think you're probably right. That's probably DC.
And saying an oak wreath, I mean, it sounds, because we don't say laurel leaf wreath, we say laurel wreath.
Yep.
So we will go with the supply reblazing. All right, moving on then to number 7. Another Gaelic name. Eleonora Ingen Inri.
Yep.
Yeah, I got one right.
Pretty close.
Vert, 3 arrows, 2 and 1 argent. This submitter is not allowing major changes.
We should start with the name, though, shouldn't we?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm stating that this submitter does not allow major changes.
Oh, internames, yeah. And we have no commentary on the names on that one.
Yes, I'm seeing that. So I'm going through and checking her docs right now.
It looks like the correct form of Ingen was used.
And the first name, the given name checks out. It's 1497 and 1589, like it says in the documentation.
Yes. And the surname is, they have one for the latest they have that is 1572, so they're definitely close enough to each other to to go around.
I don't believe vowel names are linear. I think that's good.
Okay. Yeah, because the Ingen with an H is late period, correct?
I think so.
Post 1200.
Post 1200. Okay. So yes, it's looking like the name is constructed well, and proper dates are given, and the proper patronymic is used for that time period. So the name does check out. So let's go ahead and move on to the device, which is Vert, 3 arrows, 2 and 1 argent. Arrows are default supposed to be to base. These are to chief, so we have to add the word inverted.
Yep, that was my bad.
The arrows inverted argent, and not even having to say 2 and 1 because that's the default position for them.
Yeah, it says they're inverted, correct.
Okay.
I like simple. Simple is good.
Yes, we all like simple. All right. And we seem to have no conflicts. So we will go ahead and move on to number 8. Eva Sanchez.
Turn it down.
All right, well, if Master Alexander says so.
If I'm going to do something and make her mad at me.
Yes, well, I don't need her mad at me. For those of you playing along at home, this badge submission belongs to my wife.
It's a little fishy to us.
Does she dislike goldfish? She likes dying green fish instead?
It's
Maybe
a pesky fish.
I wonder why she's wanting to drink the fish. What
Yeah.
did this fish do to her?
This badge sprang fully formed from the running joke in our camp at Gulf Wars this year.
Okay. So this is a Gulf Wars born submission through and through.
So what you're saying is the submitter didn't really think it through.
She's been thinking about this for a while. The fish was a last minute addition. But the rest of it, yeah.
So
why is the fish green?
Because her heraldic colors are purple, green, and white.
So it's not a sick fish.
So we're looking like that. Purpur on a cup was in an oral argent. A fish urinate.
Not what it sounds like.
Is that pea green?
Don't go there.
Vert.
We need to blaze the fact that the fish is. Wait, is this going to go against our rules for inverted animate charges?
No, because that's
urinant is an allowable posture for fish.
Is that what urinate means? It just means facing down?
It's swimming to the bottom of the bowl.
Okay. Now I learned a new word today.
So that being said, no one here seems to like it, so we're returning it.
I will drive all the way to Pensacola, Carlos. Don't think I won't.
It looks like the field didn't go all the way to the edge. Kick it back.
Yeah.
There's some stridation on the field. It's the actual tincture of the field, so it's not perfectly colored. I can tell the changed.
And the cup doesn't have enough details to make it identifiable as a cup.
Stop being mean.
Actually, in all honesty, the Orly does look a little bit small.
Eva gets what she wants.
But that would be the only issue I have is it looks like it looks very small.
Yeah, she does. She can get what she wants.
Yeah, but she can drop bigger after Laurel returns it.
Yeah.
Well,
Should put that in secret notes to Laurel. Return this.
Slip a 5 in there.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to number 9. Yeah,
Finula.
Finula, Ingen, Gilla,
Aloin.
Loin.
Bless you.
Yes, this person hates heralds. We're looking at a new name and device. Okay, so name changes are good. All right.
I apologize for that.
You're fine. Colbus stated that to do the litany correct, that we have to add an H to the Flournoy.
To the Gilla.
Or to the, to the Gilla.
Yeah.
We're gonna butcher it either way, but
Yeah.
It turns the G sound into more of a Y-ish sound.
Oh, I
Y
see.
guttural thing.
So Yilla?
Yeah, sort of, with a little bit more like Scottish guttural.
Yilla?
Yeah.
And when we see Gaelic names, we always ask ourselves why. So
All right.
Well, she says sound is most important, but we don't know what sound she thought Gilla would make.
Right.
This is Sam's wife Brea. If you guys know her, I'm confident that she's okay with that limitation.
Okay.
It's not too far off.
Yeah.
and
No,
it's not like
It goes from like
names not going to get butchered by heralds anyway. So
yeah, right.
doesn't really matter what it sounds like.
So yeah, I don't think we're moving far off from what the name is sounding like anyway. So
Yeah, it goes from Nean Gilliloin to Nean Yilliloin.
yeah. Yeah, that's not too much of a stretch. All right, onto the device. Sable, a fret, and in base a sisal, slipped and leaved argent.
I'm not sure the slipped and leave is necessary.
No, I don't think so because it's not a different color than the.
Yeah, I think I got a little over verbose there.
So I think we could change that to a fret and in base a thistle argent. And
Yeah.
take the slipped and leaved out.
And we had one person check for conflicts, and they said they found none.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm not seeing any either.
If it helps any, I conflict checked it too and didn't find any, but I try not to post that on the ones I submit.
Right.
I'm kind of biased.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 10. Which this is 10 out of what?
20.
20. So we're about halfway done. We're doing fairly well, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience. Finlow McCain is the name. No major changes on this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Kick it back. Kick it back.
That'll teach him.
Client requests authenticities for Manx culture from Isle of Man.
Which is where they keep the Manx people. So it's very clever that way.
Yeah.
Do they have any culture?
They have quite a lot. It's a fascinating place that's only partially part of the United Kingdom, but still has Elizabeth as queen because it's more of a private fiefdom, rather like the Channel Islands.
Interesting.
So is the capital M in the Mac just a thing that happens with Mac's names, or?
No, it happens with Irish. It's Gaelic names too. In fact, some of the Celts moved to the Isle of Man when Romans or Anglo-Saxons were bugging them.
I'm just talking about, did they capitalize then? Is that just a later period thing, or do we, in terms of spelling, do we need a lowercase or capital M?
Capital M is fine.
Normally I see the lowercase, but.
I think we've been told to switch to capital, or I may be mistaken. I used to get lowercase through, and more recently it's been changed to uppercase.
Must have been real recent.
All of the examples given in the article have a capital M for Mac.
Yeah.
You can always see that 4 is capitalized if that's what the submitter wants, and Pelican can make that decision.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But as far as that goes, let's see now. The commenters, they found that the wrong page of the source was cited. That Finlow is actually on page 74 and not 50.
She is so good at this. But it's all good, and she gave more documentation for it.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and switch out those page numbers. And I probably just did a boo-boo. Please go back. Okay, good. All right. So we'll switch out those page numbers and get the get an image of that page so that we can send it up. Other than that, there wasn't really much discussion on the name, so it's pretty well. It should pretty well be documented. So we'll go ahead and move on to the device, which is
battle looks weird.
Yes, that's the main concern in the commentary is per chevron, vert, and sable, a chevron embattled and in chief 2 oak trees argent.
It's
anything on a chevron should follow the line of the chevron.
Yeah.
So the embattlement instead of being pale-wise should be more angled. A couple of commenters suggested doing Reguli, but isn't Reguli sort of like an embattled, but on a diagonal?
Yeah. Yeah. My question, my first thought is the regularly like the diagonal is always in the same direction along the entire line, whereas on this one they're in 2 separate directions coming to a point. Mm-hmm. But it seems to be.
And if it was Reguli, both sides of the chevron would be, whereas this is just the top half.
Michael seemed to find someone who did get that blazon though, and it got passed.
Yeah, that's
a chevron regularly on the upper edge,
and that's similar to what we got. So,
but again, his in battles are more diagonal than what we have here.
Yeah, but that is a Reguli. That's a Reguli line division.
Okay. Send it up. Yeah. Make them sort it out.
I think it's probably fine.
So we'll send it up as being Reguli.
Reguli on the upper edge.
Yeah, Reguli. Yeah, because that's Michael Girard gave us per chevron, vert and sable on a chevron, Reguli on the upper edge, and in chief 2 oak trees, argent. Was it? Trying to. He also was one. Michael Girard was also commenting on the acorns on these oak trees are unrecognizable, but since generic trees are assumed to be oak trees, and the blazon 2 trees is considered identical, perhaps the complaint is futile.
Should be fine.
Yeah. It
So
looks-
do we
it's not
even
like
need to
trees.
emblazon them as oak trees, or can we just call them trees?
I would just call them trees.
I'd leave it as oak trees and let Wreath sort it out.
Yeah, I mean, I say that's a small enough detail we can let them argue over.
I vote
Shame, it's a shame we don't have anyone from Laurel's staff here to be the bad guy. Oh, wait. Hey, Serafina.
I'm not officially on Laurel staff until next month. So, actually, I'm not officially on Laurel staff until June.
I still
Well, it's practically May now, so that is a.
still say we blame her. Go for it.
There's also a concern.
Serafina, which office will you be taking?
I am replacing Wu as Ragged staff.
Okay.
Actually, you probably would have got you should have got an email from me. Or no, I sent an email to the Submissions Herald this morning.
I'll have to go back and check my emails. Moving on to number 11, John Miller. This is a resub name and a resub device. Both were returned by Laurel. The reason for the name was only the final syllable of the by name, which was submitted as John Mailer, and it conflicted with John Malin. Only the final syllable of the by name has been changed from N to as this change only affects the final consonant. It is not a substantial change under PN3C2, therefore it's returned.
I'm gonna butt in here. I gotta go. I am.
Yeah, you and I discussed this.
So good night, everybody. Have
Good
fun.
night.
Good night.
See you. Good night.
I believe giving what he has completely changed his last name to should free it from Malin.
That's extra syllable, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And also it's instead of just being, a straight sir, given in sir, it's a descriptive now, or locative now, because Lee is of, correct?
No, it's the.
Okay, yeah. So
We
it's
had it right the first time.
yeah. So it becomes a descriptive. So the name should check out this time around. So we'll go ahead and move on to the device, which the device submitted is per pale berry density, azure, and argent on a tower sable, a sword, inverted ore.
That's pretty.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
It had multiple conflicts when it was returned. But looking over from what they were saying, it should be free of those conflicts. And I agree with Michael Girard. I think that would look wonderful on a surcoat.
It really would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking, sure that we're allowed to have the same tincture in both sides.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
No, you cannot.
Oh, geez, really?
Elements divided in two parts. Elements evenly divided in two parts may use any two tinctures of furs as long as the two sections do not have the same base tincture.
But this isn't a fur.
Tinctures or furs.
Oh,
So you can't split it, even if one side's like half.
I'm looking. By the way, the place that I'm looking is under A3.
A3B1.
A3B3A.
A3,
B3A.
B3. Well, let me raise this question to begin with. Before we do go on, it said the base.
Yeah.
Because so would not the base for this actually be azure? This is azure and argent.
It's both because it's divided evenly.
Okay. Just a stab in the dark.
Oh, I know, but I agree with you. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't want to send it back.
So there's one small section that might get it passed, but so it says as long as where did I read that? Okay. No field may consist of argent and ermine or gules and gules masoned ore unless the sections are separated by an ordinary.
Oh, yeah. If you had an ordinary.
And this one's not ordinary, granted. It also says things like you can't put the argent and bear next to each other, but you can if you put the right color up against the dividing line.
right.
Send it up as a test case.
Yeah, it kind of seems like as long as there's a color dividing it, you might sneak through, but I'm not sure.
Well,
And there's not really an identifiability issue because
exactly.
clearly tell that it's.
Yeah. What were you going to say, ATN?
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's identifiable. I'd send it up as a test case.
Yeah.
Worst thing that happens is they say no.
You could put a comment that we discussed it and decided to forward it.
Yeah. That's my thinking is saying, we discussed the CINA ruling, but we think due to the
Clear identifiability.
yeah, it does have identifiability plus the charge. The charge gives enough separation.
Because 3A, it says that they have to, the two sections don't have the same base tincture, but then it further says that if one of the two parts is further divided, that it has to have good contrast between the sections, which this does. So,
But although it does say unless the sections are separated by an ordinary, and I think that's a charge, not an ordinary.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
But it's very close. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a decision for them to make.
I would also note that
And everything in CINA is written as clear as everything, right?
Mm.
as clear as that Cup that had the fish in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also note that 3B and 3C both say you can actually put two of the same pink shirt next to each other as long as there is as long as identifiability is maintained.
I just
But it
found
seems like
something.
the primary standard is identifiability. So
I just found something that was registered in 2015. It's Argent in Chief. Well, it was registered as Perfest Wavy Argent and Bari Wavy Azure.
Could you put that in the chat?
it's probably got the Azure at the line of division or something.
Here's the Oscar link. How about that?
Oh, I haven't been able to pull those up. I have to copy and paste it. Oscar's not letting me.
It's not playing well with other.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even a line of division there.
Yeah, that's actually pretty ambiguous.
I mean, my word, what stops that from being, what is it, a Ford?
It was originally blazoned as a Ford.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, if that's able to get through it and they're calling it a per fest, then I don't see why you couldn't do what this guy's doing.
I think so too. Let's, as I say, just send it up.
Yeah.
It was discussed. I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sending it up as a test case and stating that we did have a long conversation about A3 B3. All right, moving on to number 12. This is the
problem child device.
This is the third time this has come through.
So, story time. I was really sad that we are going to have to bounce this again, and so I contacted the submitter, and we had a long discussion about what she's going for and what was intended, and we came up with another idea, because this one is not the Trian aspect. It's just not going to work. And she requested that if it'll speed up the process, we can just rescind this one so that she can submit the next device sooner. And while I've got you all here, and I can get lots of opinions, because I need to, I need opinions on this.
All right.
This is the device that she is going to go for. If that link works.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Now,
Oh my God.
But it's got green on black.
Well, it does, but ideally the vines are a pall, which is one charge going over a neutral field.
I think you're going to have a barely overall problem.
I was worried about that too. Let me show you the idea she's going off of, so you can kind of see where I was going with this. Because she has a very specific picture in her head for this, but it's not exactly a easily heraldic picture.
Matthias.
Greeting, Matthias.
Hey.
Hello.
We are currently on number 12.
Cool.
She's got plenty of letter to go.
But we're doing good. We're at the hour and a half mark, so we're doing fairly well.
And that should be a link to that's what she wants, and so I'm trying to mimic that as best as possible.
You said you're on number 12?
Yes.
Yeah, if you have group chat on the side, you can see the links that our friend has just posted. I'm sorry, Seelan, I don't know how to pronounce your name, or I've forgotten rather.
Kylan.
Kylan.
Yep. That looks like a very lovely lower back tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm only seeing 11 items on the letter that's posted to the email.
Go off of what's on Facebook, please.
Okay.
So maybe one thing we could maybe do is instead of sable and ore, we make it just ore, basically.
Sable and ore is fine. In fact, you have to keep it sable and ore. If you have the overall flower, the overall has to have a good contrast with the
My
background.
original drawing has a pink flower, so maybe I can do a red rose.
I think you're fine with the sable and ore. It's a neutrally divided field.
Okay, but what do you think about the barely overall problem?
That's more of an issue.
I thought maybe the vines being the way they are would be enough to say that it's a pall, but
I think if you say a pall of vines twisted, it's such an unusual phrase. It wouldn't give us all the same visual image.
right. I pulled the vines from Mist Home because the Mist Home had an article on them that said that these vines were often used as ordinaries in like fesses and bends, and so that's where I got the idea.
If you quote Mist Home, you may be able to get by with that.
Etienne, you think what's happening is that the flower is making the charge being impale unidentifiable?
No, I think that it's not overall. It's not enough on the field to be overall. It's not actually on the pole. It's somewhere in between.
That's right. It shouldn't stick off the edges of the pall.
Make the flower bigger, and that'll solve the problem.
It's barely overall.
Yeah. The best thing I would suggest is make the flower smaller so that it is clearly on the pole of vines.
Okay.
That works too.
Okay. So in order for identifiability, I have to make the vine wider.
Maybe a touch, but
much.
I think
the vines are a good size. I think making the flower small so it's on the pall would work.
Okay.
And as I say, if you quote Mist Home where it says that these have been used for ordinaries,
I might get through. Okay.
yeah,
And since it's an ordinary, it's okay that half of it's on a sable.
yes. If any charge that's equally divided on an equally divided field, yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Okay. So
she has a better shot for next time.
yes. And so if that's what we're gonna do, then she wanted to request to just basically ignore this submission and
Withdraw it.
Just withdraw it. And
what about her badge?
the badge is we're gonna have to work on the badge. We may end up sending up just the device next month and then working on the badge another
Okay,
time.
but she's okay with us going ahead and sending them both back to her.
Yeah. It might be that we just take the vines and the rows that are on her device and just fieldless it. But you can't really do that. I might not be able to do that unless I make the vines on a pall hoop.
Yeah.
I might be stretching real hard there.
Not if you have it. If you've already passed it, you should be good.
Okay, so we might pass her device first and then go for it. We'll see.
All right.
She did lots of one, so.
Oh, we need to conflict check the next one.
All right. So, per the submitter's choice, we're going to withdraw them. So this will be for number 12 and for number 13.
Mm-hmm.
So we will go ahead and skip on down to number 14.
Which needs a conflict.
Yes, which needs a conflict. This is for Katrina Ravensbergen.
Bless you.
Yeah. So we're looking at per fess, argent, and azure, a raven, close, sable, and a castle or. By definitions, according to our default list, all most birds, and especially ravens, are close by default. So we could take out the close and just say a raven sable. If we can get a conflict check to see if we are not running afoul of anything, that
A foul?
Didn't even mean it.
no.
No, she fully meant it.
Which is kind of funny because that same joke is actually made in the next submission. But anyway, and I didn't even mean that either. But yeah, if we can check to see if we're not running into anything.
Profess Argent and Azure.
I've got some close, but they all get DCs for type and tincture of half of the charges.
I thought we decided that we didn't need the close.
We're all just going to close shop. That's what it is. We're all just going to close shop.
I see a couple things that are close, but it looks clear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. I'm surprised, actually.
It's amazing that somehow out of the blue, the most simplest things are not taken yet.
Well, I have a theory that everyone makes complicated devices because they hear that all the simple ones are taken, and so none of the simple ones are actually taken because everyone thinks they are.
I've got a vert fluor bend wire. I'm good.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 15. Marion LeBlake, new name device. No major changes on the name, ladies and gentlemen. But no comments were really on the name.
I think she's fine. Might need to conflict check it, but it looks good.
Yes.
It looks clear from conflict.
All right.
The documentation looks like it checks out.
Yeah, I found a Lee Blake in the documentation. I figured the Marion would be fine, so I just wanted to double check the surname. All right. So then let's move on to the device. Per bin, argent, and sable, a bin ghouls between a panzer rampant and a swan rousant counterchanged. There was some good conversation going on. Was this one? Michael Gerard was saying that since the feline is not incensed, it's not a panther. And the swan has its wings down, so it's not rousant. So we're looking at the blazon having to be changed to per bin, argent, and sable. A bin ghouls between an ounce sable spotted argent and a swan close argent.
You can get rid of the first argent there, or the spotted argent. You can just say an ounce spotted and a swan close argent.
Yes.
Sable spotted.
Sable spotted. And
Yeah.
a Swan Close Argent.
Wait a minute. How can you tell? Because no, that's right. I was thinking it could be ghouls, but it can't be. Never mind.
Man, that gets real close to that device. Cancel the DCs.
It's clear.
Yeah, I found some others that are pretty close, but it looks clear.
Using the new blazon.
I just put it in based on what I was seeing. I don't know what the new blazon is. Where's that? Yeah. Okay.
Ship it up.
That seems like it's more than an ounce, though.
Might be an entire pound.
Yeah. Now here's a question. Since we just had the discussion on this last one, would the Swan? Do we have to mention that the Swan is closed?
Swan
Yes.
should default to Rassant, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he says in the next sentence there.
Okay.
Yeah, that barely squeaks by because of the orientation.
Yeah, because he, I guess there was one that it had two birds counterchanged, but they're quaternary to each other. And because it's because it's two different animals, it doesn't really hit into unity of posture rules.
And their orientation is the same, so.
So.
Hate that rule.
So we will go ahead and send it up with the new blazon on it. So number 16, Marion Fitzallen.
Merowyn.
Merowyn.
Yeah, she's a seneschal.
Okay.
She really needs to fix those embattlements before it goes up.
Yeah, we have a redraw. In. I like the embattlements better. Have you spoken with the client to get an okay for this?
Yes, I sent her copies of the colored version and the black and white, and she was fine with it.
Okay, so we have submitter approval for the redraw. So
use that redraw in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Papyrus is very quick on redraws, and we certainly love her for helping us.
Yeah.
If she needs it, I started a group.
Okay.
Let me share this, and you can pass it along. Because I have the RGB values for every single tincture you could possibly want for Oscar.
Is there an issue with having?
I'm going to join that group right now.
Is there an issue with having white argent floors on a blue field in chief? Is that like? Isn't
No.
there? What am I confusing it with? That like you can't put floor pieces on something.
You can't put or floors on it because it's
Or,
France.
okay, that's what it is.
If you had 3 or floors on anything blue, it's France.
Yeah. Okay.
So you either have to go 2 or 4.
But don't go semi.
Yeah. Also, we need to make sure that we plural the fleur de lis, so it's florals de lis.
Fleurs de lis.
Fleurs de lis. That's right. Thank
Fleurs de
you.
lis.
Don't think of me. Think of Michael Gerard.
Okay.
There's a lot that are really close, so I'm just looking through them now to make sure this is clear.
If anything that doesn't have the heart primary,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
lovely thing about primary charges.
Mm-hmm.
So there. What? Okay. Okay, no, that's tincture. One's really close, but I think it squeaks by. There's an argent, a harp, and on a cheap azure 3 fleur-de-lis argent. So you get a DC for change of tincture on the harp and a DC for complex line.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, that's close.
That's really close, though.
Yeah.
I would almost guess that they devised this device specifically to avoid that conflict, but it avoids it.
Thank you, Kaylin. Good save.
And so,
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to number 17. Natija Svinova.
I think that's a Natasha Sinova,
Natasha Svinova. Right.
Russian.
Our marshal here in Arenal would love that. No major changes on this one again.
Both of those no photocopy sources.
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah, they didn't list what source it was, but Freed said that it's Wickenden.
Yeah, that says in Wickenden in the thing.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. I said all found in. Okay. Nastasia, according to Frida, which that's even sounds prettier.
Culture is the most important, not sound, so it shouldn't be a problem.
No, because he's not really saying that it's the spelling is wrong. He's more saying that how the submitter is syncing it sounds.
Pretty sure that's a she.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a she. Her backup.
So.
But yeah, steal that documentation she gave you. Oh my gosh.
Put the link for Wickenden in the chat. So you can add that to the documentation.
Okay, thank you. Yes, they like it when we can do straight links.
Okay.
I think it's clear. There's one that's kind of close, but I think it's fine.
For the name or for the device?
Oh, sorry. I was on the device.
Okay. All right. Which we're gonna move that. We're gonna move there now, since we're pretty sure that we got it wrapped up and we got all the documentation we need. We are looking at a Phoenix, Ghouls, and in Chief 3 Fions,
Yeah.
Sable, a border, Rainy ghouls.
I have trouble-
Style-wise, I think the Rions are the Phenons are a little small.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
And I
really.
think the Rhianni is a little bit small too.
Yeah, kind of like the embattlement on Merowyn's chief.
I'm okay with the rainy because I feel like borders rainy are really hard to draw right, but the Fions are definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't know what those were until I read the Blazon.
Well, and since there is a very similar charge that just has a little bit of wavy,
Mm-hmm.
we need to be careful there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no difference between them other than Blazon.
So they would have to shrink down the Phoenix.
Actually, these are not Fions.
They're not?
Nope. These are broad arrows.
Ah.
Phenons have a little bit of internal detail, don't they?
They have a wavy. That's what. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go. Link.
And you could not see that at that distance anyhow.
Yeah. No, as I say, there's no difference between them other than the Blazon. It doesn't get a difference.
Okay.
But yeah, you're correct. They are broad arrows. They're not Phenons.
Even then, I hesitate to even call it that because they're just 3 lines. Like.
Yeah. No, I mean either way, you're looking at.
On top of that, the broad arrow, like if we were to go super simple, the broad arrow's middle line should be longer than the other 2 lines to indicate that's where the staff goes. These are all equally, Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a redraw. This is definitely.
I would say at least a redraw.
Actually, give me. I'll work on it in a moment, but I'll send you a redraw real quick because I have a perfect Rhianni border.
Oh, thank you very much.
So give me a second.
Okay.
But y'all go ahead.
All right.
Conflict-wise, I think it's okay. There's one person who has a Phoenix rising from flames azure inside of a border Randy ghouls, but with the addition of the Theons and the change of tincture, it should be fine.
Okay. All right. So it's cure conflict. We're going to get a redraw here in a little bit, and then we will send it to the submitter and see if they approve.
And I'll do it with Fions. She wants to change it to broad arrows. She can, or he can.
I think style-wise, I think it'll look better with Fions. Style-wise.
Aren't we supposed to use the drawing over the description?
Correct.
So we have to send it with broad arrows.
We would if we're going to send it up, it would have to be with broad arrows. But if he can do a redraw with Phenons and give the submitter what they're wanting.
Yeah. Okay.
That's more what we're looking at right now, since we're having to do a redraw, because even as broad arrows, that's really not going to pass. 1, they're too small, and 3, they're equal at the top, and for it to actually be an arrow, it should be a little longer in the center.
It should be a little longer, and really it should have that sort of opening that makes it look like the shaft can go into it.
Right.
Because otherwise, it just kind of looks like an abstract symbol.
Looks like an I on top of a V.
All right, so we'll go ahead, and while he works on that redraw, we are going to move on to number 18.
There's a lot of talk on that one.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly about the device. But
Do the name first, then.
Yeah, do the name first. No, we should always do the name because if we can't do the name, we can't do the device. And I don't even know if I want to attempt to say that name.
Shirin al-Nisa.
Shirin al-Nisa. See, if y'all say it, I can say it. I like that. This is why I love my cohorts. They desire a feminine name, and sound is most important, and it's really the pronunciation. As close to Shirin with a pronounceable last name is most important, which we just demonstrated. It can be said to tongues that are smarter than mine. Now, why didn't the link transpose over?
The name one? The given name?
The given name.
It worked for me. Maybe because you don't have the HTTP, it didn't recognize it as a link.
Copy the link in chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I copied and pasted it into a new window, it opened up fine
Okay.
without the HTTP. It's just not recognizing it as a link because it doesn't have HTTP.
Right. I'm gonna grab that link since it's the full link, so I can change it later. Again, these are Gulf War submissions, and we all know how iffy they can get.
The name documentation looks like it checks out.
Okay.
I found both references in the name documentation. So
okay. And with the surname, they've got a couple examples of name patterns.
yeah,
so,
both of which are in the documentation.
Right. So the name should be good. So let's start discussing what we have a problem with here with the device, which is Azure, an Indian elephant, Satan prophet vested in a blanket gules on a chief engrailed ore.
Do they want actually to have it proper?
According to Cypher, which he gave a recolor, the submitter did, and he capitalized did, want a proper elephant.
Okay.
I would strongly suggest in using the one that's actually submitted, because I do think they'll bounce that for Sable.
Actually, let me do a redraw on that one too, real quick. I have a color for light gray.
You have technology, huh?
Yeah, I have a color for light gray that actually registers in Oscar as pure white.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And that blue on the redraw doesn't look like blue, so
No, that's a very light blue.
It's likely, yeah.
So, okay.
Before we go too much further,
All right.
I'm going to be sending you a redraw on the other one.
Okay.
Just need to fix the black and white a little bit. Boom.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing fairly well. If we can go ahead and get a conflict check on this one, 'cause it looks like they were so wrapped up with the coloring that they didn't do that we don't have a conflict check. So if we can get a
I just did that, and I'm seeing nothing that's too concerning. The closest I found was Azure, an elephant, passant, maintaining on its back a tower argent, and on a cheap or 3 Maltese ghoul crosses ghoul. There's too many DCs there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple. There's a couple other like Azure with an elephant, but all the secondaries and tertiaries don't match up right. So.
Okay. What's your name on Facebook?
It's Charles White.
What program do you use to do your redraws, by the way?
Pixlr.com.
Okay.
Online, easy peasy.
Yep.
Are you listed as a journalist, Charles?
No.
Different Charles.
Yeah. My profile picture should be my device, which is per chevron, Azure and ghouls, a pair of scissors, argent.
Friend added. Oh, hello.
Hey-o.
And accepted.
I gotta see what I saved it as.
I'm currently coming up with something using paint.net for redraws. I'm grabbing all the images, or should I say, I'm grabbing the correct images from Pinzik, the Pinzik traceable art, and I'm grabbing images from Mist Home and getting them down to where they're just line art.
Nice.
And so, so it's completely voided in the background. So when you bring it over to your fields and everything, it's
if people can click that link.
And that is beautiful.
Ta-da!
That is beautiful.
That is good Rayany.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh yeah.
Like
Very,
improvement on the Phoenix too.
And but the broad arrows don't look like broad arrows anymore.
Yeah, now they look like Fions.
as we requested. So
As I say, check with the submitter, see if they like it.
Yep. So I'll email
I think
them.
they will like that one better than the one,
Yeah.
that garbage that was submitted previously.
I wouldn't say that because it's
Oh, man.
it's Gulf Wars. We do what we can at Gulf Wars, but these look more professionally done.
yeah.
Professional. So we shouldn't knock the fact that
No.
they were done at Gulf Wars.
No. Can't knock it.
Bad artwork is period.
It is. And if you actually had me drawing it, it would be bad artwork.
And according to what I've been seeing most recently and everything, naughty artwork was period. Those monks weren't nice people.
We got
Define nice.
Turns out people were just as messed up before the internet.
Yep.
It just took longer to get to them. All right. So we found no conflicts for our elephant.
Nope, I didn't see any.
So,
Okay. So then we'll come back. Once we get once I get those redraws and everything, I'll send those to the submitter as well for their approval.
And I'll have that one in a few minutes for everybody.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to number 19. And again, I want to thank y'all for being with us. We just hit the 2-hour mark, but we only have two left. So
Oh crap. So a letter of 30 things?
I can't decide whether this is supposed to be the flag from Community or the Death Star.
well, Freed thinks because of the square, the square that we use for a base for our badges, it looks like a bank vault.
Yes.
I was thinking bank ball too, but
And I actually love that fact.
I do see the bank vault there.
I think we run into another problem though with this one. I think the embattlements are a little.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only thing I'm seeing there is some weak embattlements.
Yeah, that's not defined. Technically, has it correct?
I don't know why it does that to me.
But
I was not
what she's done is
sleeping, I swear to you.
it's not distinguished enough to determine that they're battlements.
Yeah, we had.
It's what's happening in the corners that messes it up. I
Yeah.
think.
We had a submitter a while back whose given name was John. Can't think of the surname, but he had 3 devices. I mean, 3 badges that he was turning in, and they all used that same embattlement, and we all agreed that that embattlement was too small.
Did it get kicked back, or did it not get submitted?
No, we did some redraws. We did some redraws and got a deeper embattlement.
I believe this is my apprentice sister. So if there's nobody here who worked on that submission, I can get in touch with her.
Okay. Yeah. Just let her. Let her know that the embattlements are too small and that a redraw is going to be worked on.
Okay.
And I can handle. I believe I can handle that one.
Yeah, I don't want to do that one.
I got this. I got this one. Can we get a conflict check though, please?
It looks like a companion cube from Portal.
So, are you trying to say it's overtly modern?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of. That, and it also looks like a gearbox.
Actually, no, wait, I should go.
Alan, we're counting on you for the conflict check, you know.
Running through it.
I think all heralds own cats.
I don't.
I don't.
My lease prohibits pets. I'm not sure I'm technically allowed to have my proteges here.
This is a dog.
Are you sure that's a dog?
Yes, I'm positive.
Okay, Alex, you're rating your proteges on this call. Which one are you talking about?
I want to ring. I can't tell if it's a cat or not.
Okay, fine. I know you're talking about me.
Dog.
That's not a dog. That's a football.
It's a rat with hair.
I think it's okay. The closest I found was Argent, a Catherine's Wheel Sable, a Border Randy Ghouls, but the change of tincture on the border and the change of the line type, I think, are 2 DCs.
So the border is ghouls and it's not embattled?
Yeah, so that on this person's device, the border is Ghouls and it's Randy. So I think there's 2 DCs there.
I think so too.
Besides that, there are only 3 devices at all that have both Argent and a Wheel Sable. So nothing else is going to conflict. Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
And since fieldless badges can't have borders, I don't have to worry about checking those.
Nope.
If they don't have borders, how do you secure them?
The
I mean,
wall.
they're all encompassing.
Yeah, there we go. So we're on this one. I'm trying to find. Yeah, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is the ILOI that
wouldn't die.
no that I was speaking about was the small embattlements. You're looking for a John von where is it? John von D. Vittel.
Vittel.
It's
Or
number
Vidal.
12.
Or Von der Velde.
Von der
I
Velde.
remember this letter.
It's number 12.
Yep. 12, 13, and 14.
Hi, sir.
But you can see in the color there where it was the original embattlements and how they were shallow. For some reason it's showing my redraw, which has the deeper embattlements. And all three of these passed. Was no I believe was no comment.
Okay.
Double checking that. Pulling up his.
Am I the only one seeing for number 12 that the line and colored copies are not the same?
Yeah.
Yes. That was because if you read the commentary on that one, they.
Oh, I'm not logged into Oscar on this one.
Oh.
I'm only running 2 machines tonight. I'm being careful.
Hey.
Or, okay, fine. I'm running 3 if you count my iPad.
But yeah, the reason why those were done was because the submitter originally wanted the lamp face not reversed.
Yeah.
And they were submitted reversed. So that's initially what started the whole redraws, and then by the time we got done, we realized, oh, they all have shallow embattlements. So all right.
The ones posted are your redraws?
The one black and white is my redraw.
Yeah, that's better. I agree.
So since you redrew this one, are you going to redraw the one with the...
Yeah, the bank vault. I'll redraw the bank vault.
Okay.
All right, so I'll do a redraw on the bank vault. Now that I'm not chasing a rabbit trail in my own head, let's move on to our last submission. Sibella Denton. This is a badge, purple, argent, and sable, a skull counterchange surmounting 2 threaded needles, inverted in saltero purpur.
Well, I can tell there are no devices or badges that have 2 needles in saltire and purple, or 2 needles purple at all. So it would be clear of everything by primary tincture SC.
So no conflict?
I don't think so. On another note, there's only one other device with a human skull that's multicolored. Just random facts, apparently.
Do you want me to also show her the revision that her ladyship Fiora drew?
Yes, we'll need a comment. We'll need a commenter approval of the redraw.
A submitter approval.
Or yeah, submitter.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with her. I'll send her a copy of this one.
I would suggest for the blazon, do we still do surmounting? Because the needles are the primary charge, right? This is the head is overall. So do we need to change the order of that blazon?
Propel, argent, and sable, a skull counterchange surmounting 2 threaded needles.
Technically, yes, because he is correct. The needles are the primary charge.
So it should read propel and argent and sable, 2 needles, 2 threaded needles, inverted in saltire purpur.
And overall
a skull counterchange.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. Let me write that out.
And I finished the redraw on the elephant.
I saw those. That looks very good. I think using excuse me, fewer
Infections.
Yes.
And if you click on me, you can see what it'll color correct in Oscar.
Oh, that's nice.
For the number 20, is there enough of a contrast with the purple needles against the black background and with the thread?
Yeah, because the background's technically a neutral, and so purple is allowed to go, like the needles are allowed to go over like that. Because the chart, you have a colored charge group over a neutral field.
I'm just thinking for identifiability purposes. It's hard to tell what it is.
When you have one that's duplicated on both sides, it's sort of assumed that the one on the right is going to match the one on the left. Should be good.
Yeah, even if identifiability is a little low, I think it's one of those that technically counts and passes.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
I put a link in the chat to a slight redraw of that crazy vine rose device, so I can get an idea of what you guys were saying with the rows on top of the vines.
Let me. Oh,
I
hey.
can't click it though.
Oh, it doesn't have the HTTP.
I don't think it came in as a hyperlink.
Oh, we have an Imagurian.
It's just the easiest way to throw it up on there. I'm using 2 computers, so I wasn't able to just like copy paste it.
I think that would be fine. I think it would be fine.
Okay.
Somebody's going to bitch, but I think it'll be fine.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, there's always going to be that one person.
and I probably know them.
Yeah, I'm looking at it in style wise to my eyes, seeing the smaller rows actually looks better.
Yeah. Okay.
It draws you more to a point within the device.
It makes it more obvious that we're looking at a pall of vines too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So okay.
I don't like it.
Well, you know.
Kidding.
But there's
It
our one
looks-
person.
There you
No,
go.
I like it. It looks
Away,
good.
we're good.
Alrighty, so I believe with that we are done, ladies and gentlemen.
And don't worry, Seraphina. I will delete the April 1st letter that I created to show how that color correction is.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, Etienne, if you could do me a favor, if you could send me that RBG value for that gray, that would be appreciated because that was a good gray.
If you look in the group that you joined,
Okay.
there's a pinned post with all the RGB colors in the comments, including for all the standard ones: brown, orange, pink, light gray, dark gray, Caucasian skin, Asian skin, and Moorish skin.
Holy cow.
Excellent.
Yes, I will be using those. Thank you so much.
The Moorish skin shows up as gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks very, very, very similar to the brown, but the brown shows up as sable.
All right. Well, I appreciate our visitors for another kingdom. I hope they enjoyed their commentary with us, and
this was
see
fun.
how-
I'll be back.
you are more than welcome, sir. They are. Etienne here was interested to see how we do these video commentaries, and so I hope you like what you saw.
Yes.
And Atlantia can start using them.
Well, actually, we do, but I wanted to see what other kingdoms are doing.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Seraphina's been doing the past few online. She doesn't do them with the Google Live, I don't think. It's
Okay.
just the Google Hangout.
I did them for a while all the time, and then I just kind of stopped. It'll be up to the professor what he wants to do.
I just recently when I was announcing this latest letter, I kind of reached out to our branch heralds and said, "Hey, listen, here's a tool for you to look at the devices that the submissions that you have sent in to see what's going on with them." So, and tonight we're up to 4 viewers. So, greetings to all of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot as well. As for now, I am going to release our online viewers and say goodnight to you all.